Welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. If you haven't signed up to my FPL Fantasy League yet, please do so. What are you waiting for? And also in a few days time, I'll be releasing a channel update on what you can expect from me in the new season. So let's get straight into today's video. So the big news is that Arsenal have reportedly made contact with Bayern Munich over Liverpool transfer target Thiago Alcantara. Arsenal reportedly inquired about the availability of Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago Alcantara, with Liverpool facing competition over his signature. The Spain international, who just won the Champions League with Bayern Munich, looks set for a move to Anfield this summer, but a deal has yet to be completed. He has 1 year left on his contract with the German Giants, who are keen to sell him this summer rather than lose him on a free transfer at the end of the season. Bayern are demanding £23 million for the 29-year-old, which Liverpool deem excessive, seeing as they could approach him in January to discuss a free transfer for the next year. But Liverpool are still stalling over a deal, and Arsenal have made an approach as Mikel Arteta looks to add to his squad in the midfield department, according to the Daily Mail. They also want his price to be reduced. Now, 23 million is what Bayern are asking for Thiago Alcantara. He was brilliant. He set up the goal for Coman, splitting the PSG midfield in half. I think he would be an excellent player for our squad. Again, his age, in my opinion, is one of the factors that I think it could be a sticking point, but the Gunners would look to offload the likes of Lucas Torreira and Mohamed El-Neni in order to fund the move. Per Mertesacker, the head of the Arsenal's academy, warned Thiago he would have to adapt if he moved to Anfield. I can imagine the transfer, but the midfield axis of Liverpool is set up. Mertesacker told Goal and Spox, getting in there is very ambitious, but he's a top footballer who can play anywhere. He wouldn't have any problems with the style of play in England either, because he's a well-trained footballer. He has to adapt and sometimes do a 40-meter sprint to hit a defender, but he can. He has to decide for himself, as it may well be that he won't play a major role in the first games in Liverpool. There are still a few players ahead of him because of their team achievements over the last 2 years. Obviously now Thiago has won the Champions League for Bayern Munich. Now Thiago, again, his age, that's the huge issue in my opinion, because someone like Thomas Partey is 2 years younger than him, so Arsenal could get a good 4 or 5 years out of Partey. Now with Thiago, he is 29 years old, approaching 30 years old, so how many good years can he, high class, world class years, can he get out of Thomas Partey? Mikel Arteta has been telling the likes of Willian and Gabriel that his big plan of trying to win the Champions League in the next 3 to 4 years. Will Thiago be part of that? Because he'll be around 34, 35 years old by then. Will he be part of that? I think he's still a world class midfielder. We saw that game last night against PSG when Bayern Munich won the Champions League. I watched that game. Thiago's pass just to split this PSG midfield in half. That's what we need. That's what we lack, because Mesut Ozil, he's been missing since God knows how long, and we don't have anyone who else could do that, because Dani Ceballos isn't the most consistent when it comes to creativity. So we need someone else there. We have been linked to Hassan Aouar, which we have got an update on. It's not a great update, but it is a decent update for someone for another club, but we'll get into that in a bit. But with Thiago, in my opinion, I think pass. We shouldn't be going in for Thiago. I think we should be focusing on Thomas Partey and Hassan Aouar. If we can get Dani Ceballos back on a loan, that is good as well. But in my opinion, for me, Thiago isn't the greatest option. But if Bayern Munich do reduce their price to around £17 million, then we could have a deal on, and maybe Arsenal could go in for Thiago. Now Liverpool do seem the favourites. He has been very advanced in a move. He's been very open, and he really wants to go to Liverpool. Apparently he's been looking for houses there, but again, I don't know if Liverpool will sign him. They've been very picky over this one, especially over the price. But if Mikel Arteta is really desperate to sign him, I think they could get this done. But what will it mean for Thomas Partey and Hassan Aouar? I think, in my opinion, they will still sign Thomas Partey. I think Thiago could be an alternative to the likes of Hassan Aouar and Dani Ceballos, but only time will tell. So that is the news that Arsenal have made contact with Bayern Munich over Thiago Alcantara. But now that the Champions League is over, it looks like his decision on his future will be quite imminent, and it could be in the coming days or weeks. But let's see what Arsenal do on this. And we have been linked to Thiago Alcantara. Next bit of news is on Philippe Coutinho, and apparently Arsenal transfer target Philippe Coutinho speaks out on his future after winning the Champions League. Philippe Coutinho admitted he's not sure if his future lies at Barcelona after ending his loan spell with Bayern Munich by winning the Champions League. Coutinho came off the bench in Bayern's 1-0 win over Paris Saint-Germain in Sunday's final, but the German giants have decided against signing him on a permanent basis. His permanent basis, like his option to buy, is around 110 million euros, something that Bayern do not want to activate as they think it's too much money. His parent club Barcelona looks set for a fire sale this summer, and Coutinho is not expected to remain at the Nou Camp. The former Liverpool playmaker has been linked with the return to the Premier League, with Arsenal credited with interest in signing him. But Coutinho remained coy on his plans beyond the season, but is determined to have a great year after several frustrating seasons since leaving Anfield. I haven't thought, Coutinho said on his future after the Champions League final. Now I have to go back to Barcelona. I want to work hard to have a great year. I don't know if I'll be there, Barcelona, but I want to work hard. Coutinho is not the only Barcelona player with an uncertain future. New boss Ronald Koeman reportedly told Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba that he wants them to leave. Even Lionel Messi's future is uncertain after the humiliating defeat, and they go on to say more things about Messi which we do not care about at the moment. But Coutinho has spoken out on his future after the Champions League defeat, and I think this could be good news, because Ronald Koeman looks like he hasn't spoke to Coutinho yet. Maybe Ronald Koeman will speak to Coutinho, and maybe if he does, he could convince him to stay at Barcelona. But again, the steal to Arsenal could look more likely as the days go on now, and this deal could accelerate in terms of getting the deal done over the line before the Community Shield. He has now returned to Barcelona because he's won the Champions League now. Bayern, his loan spell with Bayern is now over. So again, I can't really say much more. You guys heard my thoughts about Coutinho. He'd be an excellent addition to our side, especially in that creative area of the side. You know, to have them on that left side of the midfield, someone who could, play the balls through the midfield, someone who, he's a really good player, especially in the attacking sense. So I think I'll definitely have Coutinho. But again, it remains to be seen if he does want to come back to the Premier League and to Arsenal. He hasn't really said much about that, but it'll be interesting to see what he says about that, and if he actually does come back to the Premier League and to Arsenal. So that is the news that Coutinho has spoken out on his future, and he said himself that he may not stay at Barcelona this summer, but that could change if Koeman does speak to him though. Next bit of news is on Hassan Aouar, and apparently he's favouring a signing with Juventus this summer. Apparently, Hassan Aouar really wants to go to Juventus, and according to Le Temps Sport and their exclusive headline on Friday, suggested that the 22-year-old Aouar is preferring a move to Juventus, and apparently he has been linked to Juventus. We have said this over the last few days, and apparently Le Temps Sport are claiming this. They're reporting France. Again, there has been another report that is suggesting that Juventus haven't actually made any contact with Lyon for him, and that this report was saying that only 2 clubs have made an actual inquiry, a concrete offer for Hassan Aouar, and Arsenal are said to be one of those clubs. So a chance for Hassan Aouar is on. This is not off. But I'm just saying, Hassan Aouar, if Juventus were to come in for Hassan Aouar with a concrete bid, with concrete interest, then I think Hassan Aouar would prefer a move to Juventus instead of the Premier League, because Man City and Arsenal look set to be, chasing Hassan Aouar. Now again, it depends, because Juventus aren't in the greatest of financial situations, because firstly, they got knocked out so early from the Champions League, and they actually have quite a lot of midfielders within their ranks, like the likes of Adrien Rabiot, Khedira, Ramsey. Those aren't only some that in their midfield, and they're really stocking up the midfield and the wage bill, because the likes of Ramsey, for example, on around £400,000 a week, you really need to get that off the wage bill, especially when someone like Ramsey's had lots of injury problems this season and hasn't really featured, and Andrea Pirlo really doesn't want those kind of midfielders. So maybe if Juventus can offload them, maybe they can go in for Hassan Aouar, but at the moment Juventus aren't interested in him, and Arsenal are one of the 2 clubs that made an actual inquiry over Hassan Aouar. Now, in terms of where Aouar actually wants to move to Arsenal, that is very unclear. There's not really any report that suggests he would want to move to Arsenal. Maybe he wants to, maybe he doesn't want to. But as we've seen already, and we'll see time and time again, Mikel Arteta does make these phone calls to tell the player his ambitions, and we've seen with Gabriel already. He was stunned with the way Mikel Arteta spoke. Again, another 22-year-old. I don't know if that makes a difference, but still. And he did say the same thing to Willian. So if he can say something to Hassan Aouar that can persuade him, because Mikel Arteta has great plans for Arsenal, especially what he said to Willian about winning the Champions League. If he can do that, wow, if he can persuade him like that, I mean, will it happen? Will we win the Champions League in the next 3 years? Only time will tell. But when I saw Bayern Munich lifting that Champions League last night, I want it to be us. I want it to be us. I know it seems very unrealistic, but if we can get the right signings, if we can get the right personnel in, why not? Why not? We have to qualify for the Champions League first, and hopefully we can do that next season. Stay tuned for the channel, because today or tomorrow I'll be releasing my Premier League predictions. So can Arsenal get into the top 4? We'll be discussing that as well. But that is the news. Now, Hassan Aouar would prefer a Juventus move if they did come in for him. Next bit of news is on Dani Ceballos, as apparently Arsenal are facing a battle with AC Milan for Dani Ceballos. According to the Telegraph, AC Milan are now hoping to beat Arsenal to the signing of Real Madrid midfielder Dani Ceballos. It is claimed that Mikel Arteta wants to bring Ceballos back to Arsenal after a season-long loan in North London. However, Sanheli was the one in talks to sign Ceballos again, and now he has left the club with Vinay taking over. Milan, who is fronted by ex-Arsenal man Ivan Gazidis, now hopes to take advantage of the upheaval at Arsenal in order to snoop for Dani Ceballos. Arsenal are pursuing another loan deal for Ceballos because of their financial situation not being the greatest, so Milan might be tempted to try and pip the Gunners by offering a permanent move. AC Milan have also been linked with Lucas Torreira, who is at Arsenal at the moment. The 24-year-old showed flashes of his quality under Unai Emery, but really came into his own under Arteta. Was more of a rounded midfielder instead of an attacking midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box under Arteta, and he did really well in that position, in my opinion. Ceballos can instead improve his goal contributions, having only mustered just 2 goals and no assists actually last season, which is quite worrying. But one of those goals was to win the FA Cup quarter-final tie against Sheffield United. But he would certainly be worth bringing back for another year, especially on loan, and then we could probably decide if we want to sign him. Maybe an option with an option to buy, and maybe an obligatory to buy. Maybe the 23-24 million pounds might be worth spending next year if Ceballos is really good. Ceballos should prefer returning to Arsenal after enjoying his time there, but Milan now pose a very dangerous threat to the Gunners' hopes of a deal. Now, Dani Ceballos has been quite quiet for him with Arsenal trying to do the deal, because Raul Sanheli was leading the talks. Now he's left the door. How will Arsenal conduct this? It's going to be very interesting to see, but I think we could get Ceballos back on loan. I don't think it'll be a permanent move. Apparently, Ceballos would prefer a move to Real Betis if they were to come in for him. In my opinion, in my source, my understanding is that Real Betis will not come in for Dani Ceballos, even for a loan deal. So Arsenal could come in. I don't think AC Milan will be much of a problem to us. If it was between us and AC Milan, I think Ceballos would move to us. Obviously, he won't need time to adapt because already he knows the players, knows the manager. Manager wants him there, so it'd be an easy decision to come back to London, probably bring his family there, because he was alone in London, so that may have affected his mental health as well, but who knows. And that is the news that Dani Ceballos, we are still looking to sign him, but AC Milan are posing a really big threat to us, and they are under Ivan Gazidis, who looks to gazump Arsenal in this one. Next bit of news is on Rob Holding, as apparently Leeds are free to sign Arsenal Rob Holding as Mikel Arteta transfer listed defender. Arsenal defender Rob Holding faces being sold this summer, and Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United are interested in bringing him to Ellen Road as they look to strengthen their defence. Leeds United will be able to sign Rob Holding from Arsenal if they decide to pursue a deal. Bielsa is interested in luring the Englishman to Ellen Road ahead of their new season. The Yorkshire club are looking to strengthen their backline after earning promotion back to the Premier League following 16 years outside of the top flight. Holding is an option for Leeds according to the Daily Mail, as he is now surplus to requirements at the Emirates Stadium. Mikel Arteta has added William Saliba to his squad this summer following a season-long loan back at Saint Etienne, and now apparently we have just signed Gabriel. That will be announced soon. The likes of Holding and Socrates are now up for sale, with Arteta reportedly having transfer listed a host of players from his first team squad, with as many as 15 available in the market. We also reported a few days ago apparently 10 are up for sale, but this report is saying different things, but that doesn't really matter. The fact is that Arsenal are looking to get rid of most of their squad. With Arsenal open to offers for Holding, Leeds have a free run at the they have a free run at the 24-year-old if they wish to sign him. He has gained solid experience with the Gunners, although was limited for game time last term. His 2018-19 season was also disrupted by a serious knee ligament injury, but that is his only serious career ailment to date. He was actually quite good in that season until he got that injury. I felt quite bad for him. But he also has moved on from top target Ben White, with Brighton having rejected 3 bids from Leeds for the defender. Ben White and Rob Holding are actually quite similar players, so I think Leeds going in for Rob Holding is not surprising in my opinion. Ben White helped Leeds gain promotion last season while on loan at Ellen Road, but his value has skyrocketed as a result. Apparently they want around 30 million pounds, but Leeds only wanted to pay 25 million, and apparently Liverpool and Chelsea want to sign Ben White as well. But Holding could be brought in instead of White, and Leeds also have other targets as well, including Robin Koch from Freiburg. So that is the news that apparently Rob Holding could be on his way to Leeds. In my opinion, Rob Holding is now surplus to requirements. Let's just try and get as much money as possible. We only signed it for around £2-3 million from Bolton, I believe it was. So I think we could get a decent chunk of money, at least 15 million plus, which would be quite good. I would pay most of Gabriel's money that we signed him for, initial £22.6 million. If we can get anything close to that for Holding, that would be very, very good for us. And I think Holding's still quite a good player and has a lot to give for his career. And I think I wish him the best if he does leave the summer, which I think he will. So that is the news that Rob Holding has been linked with the move away from the club, and Leeds could be interested. Last bit of news is on a replacement for Freddie Ljungberg. It's apparently Mikel Arteta has identified a specialist coach, as it said. Former Gunners winger Ljungberg has left the club after serving on the staff under Arteta, and the Spaniard now wants to shake up his backroom team. Mikel Arteta is reportedly targeting a move for set-piece specialist Andreas Gurgesen as he looks to add to his coaching staff at Arsenal. The Gunners have seen their former winger Freddie Ljungberg depart the club staff after he had served under Arteta since the Spaniard's appointment in December, which came after Ljungberg had been taking temporary charge in the wake of the departure of Unai Emery. The Swede is now set to pursue managerial ambitions away from the club, with Arteta turning to Brentford coach Gurgesen as he looks to add to his staff. In the picture here, you can actually see him in a Malmo, because I couldn't actually find a decent picture of him in a Brentford thingy. So yeah, sorry about that, but still, it's the same person. The Bees, who lost this season's Championship playoff final to Fulham, have often been praised for their approach under manager Thomas Frank, with the German trusting Gurgesen to work on the club's set pieces. A report from the Evening Standard suggests that now Arteta wants to bring the Swedish coach to the Gunners as he looks to put his stamp on new things ahead of the new Premier League campaign. Arsenal have had problems defending set pieces since Arteta's appointment as a manager. That I agree with, and hopefully Gurgesen can help out in an area he has come to specialise in through his work at Brentford and former club Malmo, which you can see in the picture. Should he move to the Gunners, he would become the second member of staff that Arteta had recruited from Brentford since his arrival, having taken the goalkeeping coach Inaki Kenna shortly after his appointment in December. And last month, a review of their scouting department led to a number of departures from the club, including highly respected scout Francis Cagioa and ex-Reading and Leeds manager Brian McDermott. So yeah, we have signed this person called Gurgesen. It is good that he's a set-piece specialist. It could really help us defend those set pieces, and apparently he's done it for Brentford, so hopefully he can do it for Arsenal. I can't say much more. I don't know this person. So that is the news, that we have identified a replacement for Freddie Ljungberg, and his name is Andreas Gurgesen from Brentford and formerly of Malmo. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do like, subscribe, and also sign up to my FPL League. I'll keep saying this, and in my Premier League predictions in the new season, I will be reviewing the FPL, but I'll reveal that in a later day. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.